Hello, it's Monday, and I need to finish a teapot, so that's what we're doing. I attempted to get a silly music app to work, but I have to add something to the moderator list to get it to, like, the bot to report what's happening, and that was too complicated for me. So instead, I'm gonna just leave it quiet. I probably will put on music for me that you can't hear because it's copyrighted. But you could put on music for you. I'm gonna be kind of quiet. I'll keep an eye on chat and try and answer questions and such. But otherwise, neat. iTunes is being weird. Cool. No music. No, I don't know. It's fine. We'll leave it. We'll leave it and unwrap our lizard teapot. So I basically haven't worked on it since the last time. So we've got our work cut out for us. I still need to put a handle on and legs. This guy. I think we'll put another lizard on the handle. That will be a good odd number of lizards to go with. Ooh. Forge materials that ships clay across the country for $5. Very nice. Thank you. I think I'll probably end up driving to Sacramento for mine, but anyone who wants to play with clay and also perhaps attempt the horrifying grill firing method that I linked on Twitter a while ago, there's a good source for you if you don't have something local. Let's restart iTunes and see if I can't put on some nice classical music. Yeah, there we go. Neat. Yeah, or if you have a yard, or you live in a rural area where it's cool to just dig a hole in your yard. Pit firing is I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is fairly straightforward. Hello, Auntie Shepherd. Sort of tidy up my mess here. I don't know if you can see, but I've developed a sort of a pitcher and bowl water storage method going on here. Since I've started storing all of my pottery on the sideboard. Okay. I'm gonna cut off a pretty good sized piece of clay because I'm gonna need to roll a handle, I think. Just set that there. You will have noticed there is no second camera. We're working large enough. Actually, in fact, I might try and make that a little bit higher so you can see more. There we go. We're working large enough that a second camera would just see the side of the teapot at all times. So let's see. Need a handle piece, so let's go with just keep that chunk for the handle. Put it over here. And some legs, a lizard. And you can go back with the rest of the clay. Oh, hey, there's the twist tie. It's been here the whole time. Oh, Figment's maid is hiding her pit firing from the neighbors with fences now. Oh dear. Yeah, another thing, exactly, Arcraft, another thing to confuse for my teacup, which is, today it's shaped like an owl. I don't think I can show you because of the lack of second camera, but it's a retro owl. Wait, is the emoji still not approved, really? That's not cool. I'm sorry, you guys. I really expected that to go faster. Wow. I would have expected that to have been approved over. Yeah, I guess maybe that's the problem. Maybe it has to be approved by people. I can check its status. Slowly. Okay, you know what, internet? It's fine. I'm sorry. I know you're doing a thing. It's, you know what? It was a mistake. It was a mistake to open this while I was live. I'll just come back and check later. Yeah, I linked Auntie Shepherd to my local, well, my local-ish. They mix their own clay, and it's out in Sacramento, and they make the Navajo wheel with grog, which is my favorite. And I'm pretty sure. I think they also. I think the Tijuana Red that I suggested you get is also one of their proprietary ones. I think. They make a really, they, like I said, they make my favorite. They make the Navajo with grog that I made the axolotl and the giant goose out of. So I am fond of them. I don't know. I feel like the shipping for anything that's not a sample is pretty expensive because they sell in large quantities, but I don't know for sure. How are we doing? These legs are really thin, aren't they? Yeah, that's more. Just gonna try and match the ones that we already did. Because then I won't have to think about it too hard. Also, history taught me this one might be a little too thin. Ah, well, it's fine. Yep. History has taught me not to bend them after the fact, but to bend them first. Let's see, that seems like a good leg arrangement to me. Feels pretty natural. Yes. Low, medium, and high fire refers to the temperature that you intend to max out at when you're firing your clay. You're going to want, if you're pit firing, you will want a low fire clay. Whereas the clay that I'm working with here is a mid-fire clay. It fires to cone 6. Yeah, explosions don't usually get a whole lot of momentum, but if you're open firing and bits of fire blow away towards you, that's not great. An explosion is basically what happens when trapped moisture and air inside your piece burst free. Am I out of? I thought I had focused so nicely. There we go. So yes, when you've put clay into an open fire, be mindful that you are shocking that clay and that any moisture or open spaces of air inside that clay will expand rapidly. And that rapid expansion can cause the clay around it to shatter. Thus, explosion. Oh yeah, if you you should definitely have a fire extinguisher if you intend to fire clay with actual fire. You should have a fire extinguisher for sure. You should probably also have tongs, either fireplace tongs or like forge gloves and tongs. Something to allow you to manipulate fire and pottery in a way that is safe. You should also make sure it's legal where you live. Because as I learned from my excellent plumber, you can't pit roast a whole pig here, so I assume digging a hole and lighting it on fire may have some legal ramifications. So the best way to prevent your pots from shattering or exploding when you're firing them in a sort of volatile firing method like Reiku or pit firing is to make sure that one, all of the things you join are really well joined. So like if I building this teapot, for example, it would have a tendency to separate anytime I joined a piece. So I need to make sure that those joints are really firm and that there's no gaps in them. The other thing that you need to do is wait until it's super dry. Wait until it seems dry and then wait longer. The drier it is, the less likely it is for moisture to rapid expand and crack your piece. So, there's your pit firing safety tips. Please play with clay safely. Play with clay safely. Hide your activities from your neighbors with a fence. You know, whatever you need to do. Am I on? I am off camera. I think we may need to shift this camera forward some. There we go. Had to lean too far inwards. Oh yeah, make some spindle swirls. Shep. Do more stuff with clay. Show me pictures. Well, these legs are going better than the other legs. I feel like I learned a lot when I was working on this before. I feel like the knowledge that I gained with First Lizard is proving helpful now with Second Lizard. Ah, yes, there's still any. You still haven't done any votive cows. All of that clay. Just sort of delicately breaking the barrier here. Ah, yes. I am sorry, Shep. That is the inevitable downfall of. I love watching throwing videos on YouTube, but anytime anyone throws on YouTube, they make it look so like brilliantly meditative and simple. And then when I try, I'm like, no, this is very hard. But the thing about working with any kind of clay is that there's kind of two tasks that you have to manage. The first is learning the sort of medium itself. Every kind of clay has its own oddities. That's why I'm so mad at buff with sand, because it doesn't behave like I want it to behave. It doesn't enjoy my usual methods of shaping things, and I have to kind of learn how to deal with it. And I don't really want to. But the other half of it is just knowing how to think and form in 3 dimensions. And that part is where the years of practice come in. you too can learn with practice. And practice with clay is fun. At least I think it's fun. On camera, good, I'm still on camera. The first time I ever sculpted anything with actually, I think I probably have it. Hang on, let me take off my mic and wander across the room. Just leave that here for a minute, and I'll show you something. First thing I ever sculpted with ceramic is to lower it down is the bird on this odd little bowl many years ago. Now I have to put this somewhere. I could just live back here for now. And the absolute first thing I realized was that I would have thought that you would want it to be more damp and that you would use water for smoothing all the time. And that just made it impossible to sculpt. Hey, you make enough quail and it starts to become sort of second nature. What I'm really impressed with, frankly, is my toga. It's been a long time since I bothered to do classic fabric fold sculpts. And by a long time, I mean like decades. And gosh, turns out all that art school stuff paid off. Those fabric folds look pretty darn good. So, you know, the quill is easy, but giving it togas and weapons, that's a whole other adventure. Mm. Okay. What tool do I? This one. This is the tool. The softer rubber tool. I don't think I did show off. I put it on. Did I even put the owl on Twitter? Did I show you guys an owl, or did I just DM it to Shep and be like, "Look, I made a thing," and then like pretend that was everyone? I feel like possibly I never showed you the owl. I might have put it on Twitter. In my imagination, I put it on Twitter or Instagram, one of those two. But that doesn't mean it really happened. Oh dear. Okay. Take the mic off again. Be right back. Just gonna wander away. Got new Bluetooth headphones. So that's cool. Thanks for reminding me. I painted the owl He got his painted detail. I also did spots, dugout spots. And it's hollow. I think I told you guys I'd hollowed it out, but I did in fact finish the painting on the owl. And I'm pretty pleased with how it came out, actually. And now I have to put the mic down again because I really have to put it back on the mantle in the other room. Because there's no safe space in here anymore. I'm about to the point where I'm going to have to take more stuff off my mantle in favor of more drying clay sculpture. Thank you guys. I'm glad that you like how the owl turned out. I was pretty pleased with the painting. Where's my photo of skink toes? There it is. Excuse me. So yeah, hey, I finished. I can't believe I just forgot to show everyone that. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm a little bit scattered lately. 'Cause, you know, the world's on fire. Is my excuse. My excuse is everything's gone very odd. Everything's gone odd. Time has no meaning. And I've had to learn to meal plan. Which is not a thing I did before. I live in a city. There are grocery stores everywhere. I was very much a what do I want to eat today? I'll just go get it kind of person. Yes, it has gone pear-shaped. Figment's made. The world has gone pear-shaped. And hopefully we'll work that out. Smooth that back out. Get everything back on track. But until then, I've gone a bit scattered. Is their shape worse than a pear? I have a lovely Yo-Yo Ma and bluegrass group album called Goat Rodeo. And apparently Goat Rodeo is the best way to say everything has fallen apart and we're all going to die without using any curse words. So it's a real goat rodeo out there. Hello, Hannah. Welcome to Chat Reminds Sarah things she's finished and never showed them. Apparently, I just finished the owl and didn't tell anyone. Probably I just sent an image to Shep in the middle of the night and was like, look, I finished a thing. Good work, me. It's true, I did give some pit firing safety instructions. How not to explode your pottery when lighting it on fire. 101. important lessons. I also tried to get the pretzel app thing to work, but it wanted me to add something to my moderator list to tell it what songs it was playing. Yeah, it was a whole thing, and I couldn't figure it out quickly. So there's no music. So I'm attempting to talk some instead of just silently making lizard toes. I feel like you guys can't see what I'm doing. I don't think the second camera would see it either, so I got nothing. Shep, I was gonna make tiny M4, wasn't I? I have like tiny slabs around. Where's my stool? That was my stool. I thought I could make tiny amphora. Could do it with slabs, and oh, we're kind of buckling up there in the inside. Let's solve that quickly. Ah, now my hand will fit in there. That's fine. Flatten the bottom back out. Did that do it? Mostly. Where are we not flat? That's better. There we go. Temporary stall to make sure it doesn't dry all weird and buckled. Dried herbs from your poison garden. Oh dear. I've got Hildegard von Bingen playing in my headset. It won't pick up my music unless I set it to. So I'm listening to chill choral music. I just wish that you were also. All right. This is where the side camera would probably be helpful. But maybe not. Checking my focus again. Too far. Oh dear. Yes, there will be one more on the handle. That's the goal. As I just futz with the focus. Yeah, three feels like a good number, and I don't know if having one stuck to the side maybe, but there's something so pleasing about sort of the geometry of it, and having them sort of sunning themselves on top just makes sense. Also, you should always have an odd number of objects in a composition. That's just more visually pleasing for some reason that no one's ever adequately explained. I mean, maybe someone's adequately explained it and I just haven't noticed. But as far as I know, it's just a mystery of reality. Yeah, skinks don't really stick to walls. They can kind of run up them, scramble up like a rough surface, but having them sunning themselves on top just makes more sense. And then the one on the handle will be sort of stretched out on the back of the handle. Maybe he'll have one eye closed, one eye half open, with his head tilted looking up at you as you grab hold of him to pour tea. It's true, there's probably also a Renaissance theory for why it's a more pleasing collection of objects if it's not numbered, but the fact remains that it is true, however odd it sounds. Like 3 things is just a more pleasing grouping than 4 things. Don't know why, but it's just the case. So, 3 is a really solid number to go with. 1 or 3. Where's my newly? There's my needle tool. My newly fish-free needle tool here. Not that newly. I think it was fish-free last time too. Moved the fish to the mantle. I could do 5, but 5 is a bit many. 5, I think, is the number of snakes I put on the snake teapot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there might be 4 snakes in the snake teapot. 4 or 5. I'd have to count. Oh, let's see. Toes. The right number of skink toes. Ah. As opposed to the wrong number of skink toes. Skink back feet are so weird looking. Have a good night, Auntie Shepherd. Get some sleep. Thank you for reminding me that I hadn't shown anyone the owl. Yeah, it's time for the reading glasses. Looks like a missed artifact. Oh, goodness. Is that because of the hexagonal shape or the skinks? Okay. Toes are hard. I promise we'll be back to the toes on top in a second, and then you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Tools. Sorry, chat. I put the glasses on so I can't see you. Reading glasses are for close-up looking only. I will check in with you momentarily. Maybe someday I'll get bifocals. Be able to do both things at once. But that's a long time in the non-pandemic future. The problem is I have to finish them now. I can't just sort of say they're good enough and leave them because they're so small. They'll dry first. So I have to kind of make sure they've been completed to my satisfaction. Ah, I see. It's a missed puzzle, is it? That means that the number of skinks is important for no apparent reason. And it will take you like hours and a lot of notes from other places to understand why. On this check. Trying to get a. There we go. That might be a better shadow for you guys. friend of mine linked me to a thing that says they're making a Myst TV series. And then wanted to know if there was actually lore, and I refused to explain the entire extensive, but somehow not really in-game lore of Mist and Ribbon. Yeah, I don't know if they've been remastered, but they were really fun. I liked Riven a little bit better. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not, but I feel like they had sort of learned a lot about puzzle building at that point. So everything made a little bit more sense. All right. Just keep sliding glasses off to check in with you guys and then putting them back on. Trying hard not to lean so far forward that my head ends up covering the camera. Okay. One more foot to go. Glasses break. Oh. Get to know nature. Had a very productive day. Excellent. Those have become harder to come by. These days. Oh dear. Hit that quite hard. That's quite a dent to fix. Being too casually aggressive with my tools. There we go. All fixed. Oh, I'm just catching up on chat now. Short story about inviting a psychic schoolmate over for dinner. Ah, yes, photosynthesis. Very, very helpful. And of course, the follow up, I suppose the benefit of inviting a psychic over for dinner is they already know, so you don't have to waste time on an invite. Oh no. That didn't work. Not as well attached as I thought. There we go. No, I've done it. I've done it backwards. This one is meant to be the longest toe. Should have scored and slipped. Before I squidge these toes down. Oh well. Now I must deal with the consequences of my choices. I think being a psychic would get awkward in general. That'll be great for the playback when people can't see chat and don't know why I'm bringing it up. I mean, how much do you see in advance? How overwhelming is it? How do you deal with people not wanting to know these things? Now that's just science fiction. Hey mom, my boyfriend is part of a hive mind and he has to remember to physically emote. That would actually be a great sci-fi thing. Your alien friend keeps forgetting that you can't just tell what they're feeling at all times because that's just how it's supposed to work. You have to keep arranging their face into expressions that express emotion. Conscious social signaling for a completely different culture. When they spend too much time on Earth and they get home, their family's like super freaked out. What are you doing with your face? Okay. All of the toes. All of the lizard toes exist. Excellent. Let's shift some things around. Probably don't need this clay. Where will I put it? Put it away. Okay. Now let's consider. Okay, this can go here for now. T now lives where a second camera lived. Okay, so plan is to roll out a fairly thick slab and use that to make the handle. Which means wobbling this camera madly around. Okay. Trying to make sure it gets long enough. Okay. Getting to the right. Oops, again. Darn it. This poor teapot and its sharp corners that I keep damaging. It's like I'm spackling holes in a wall. Oh man. Zombie by the Cranberries is a good song. From the olden times. Just trying very hard not to accidentally slam into my teapot again. How thick are we? Getting there, getting there. I feel like that's pretty good. Okay. Straight edge, sharp thing. This sharp thing. Oh, what do you know? That is, in fact, a pretty even thickness. Good work, me. Okay. How wide? Pretty wide. But not so wide that it's difficult to hold on to. Okay. Now. Now the trick is, how do I attach it? I have rolled a handle. And let's see, we'll just put this away. Don't let our spare clay get too dry. This clay also dries kind of fast. I assume because of the sand, so. Trying to be mindful. So, I don't really want like a hard edge on this. I think I want it to be not quite that big. How we could a little bit bigger. Yeah, there-ish. Okay. Tiny square. So. Bring our teapot back. Actually, let's make this quite near the top, and we'll sort of mirror the curve. So there. Or there. A gap. Or right against it. If there's something pleasing about right against it, we're going to have to go with that. It's gonna kind of keep. I want sort of what I intend to do is have this edge stay sharp, basically, but then bevel this edge a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to grip hold of. Sort of mirroring the curve that I have on the, so I've kind of curved around at the top. So I want to kind of mirror that. So let's see, where's the center? Oh no, we just worked so hard on those toes that we're going to squidge into. Oh well. It's fine. Because this needs to be really well attached. Like, really well attached. Because it's the handle, it has to support the weight of the whole teapot. Any structural flaws here will be structural flaws for the whole thing. Yeah, we'll fix the squidged toes. We'll release them from their squidged prison. I don't think so, because I think that'll add too much complexity to the overall shape. And instead of looking at sort of the simple, clean shape of the teapot, the handle will draw too much attention if I let it get too complicated. But I feel like it should cleanly, like, attach. It shouldn't break any of the oh, it's gonna be hard to make this stay. I don't want it to break any of the curves or the general shape. So I'm going to be sort of cleaning it up in stages as I go to make sure that it stays in keeping with the curve of the top. Just tidy up around those toes. Okay. Then you, my friend, get to go over here. So we're going to tip the whole thing over. Nope, that's going to go so poorly. I have such concerns. Also, there's bits of clay inside. Such concerns. We will use the spout. There we go. Nope. Still too much force. Oh well. Started to tear away. It's fine. We shall fix it. Because we want this one to do the same kind of curve down here. Now, are you the right height? Pretty much the right height. Good. Just sit there for a second. There are so many easier ways to make handles. Why do I have to want clean geometric lines? I could have just pulled a handle and squidged it down. It would have been fine. But no. Now I had to be ambitious about it. I had to want it to match the geometric quality of the rest of the teapot. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can at least start to tidy this up and make it a clean connection. Yes, the skink will. We probably can't add the skink today on the handle. Because I forgot how this tends to crack. And I think it might be too soft to put things on until it's had a little while to sit and adjust to its new shape and firm a little bit. But we shall see. Okay. Now, the trick is how to support it. Do we have a nice piece of cardstock just sitting around? That would be very helpful. Probably so. Yes, I do. Okay. Made a little bit of something. Well, we'll just roll this up. Just do that. Yep, it really wants to tear off there at the top. That is going to be a problem. We cannot have that. Okay. Potentially too much water. We have lost stink toe definition. Which we shall have to fix later. Okay. Just want to smooth the sort of cracks that have appeared when I put the curve into this. The swoop will add more skinkiness. It will. Because I just don't want the cracks to stay. And I want to compress it a little bit in the hopes that that will help strengthen it as it starts to stiffen up and keep its curve. Ideally. toe definition has been compromised. Yep, we're gonna have to tidy that up in a minute. We just need it to dry out a little bit. Yeah, basically this handle is where I think we're gonna leave things for this stream because it's gonna require some waiting. You may recall me saying before, part of pottery is waiting for things to get to the right level of dryness to do something with. Balancing act of dry enough not to fall apart, not too dry. Cleaning up my edges. Which will be tidied again and again, as with the side of the teapot. Over time. One of the reasons I wanted to keep this fairly thick, besides just comfort with the size of the teapot, is that it should be sturdier to attach things to sooner. It should be more weight bearing because of its thicker slab. As opposed to for example, the bird one that I did with the rivets, where it was a quite thin arc, intentionally to mirror the shape of the teapot, but quite fragile. Okay. So far, so good. It's on straight. Just center that paper. There we go. Keep that straight. All right. Yeah, we need a sturdy skink surface. All right, let's go back to those toes where my glass is at. There they are. Oh, let's put the lid back on before I forget. Oh, skink toes, what order do you go in? Yes, longest on the outside. Almost fixed. Ugh. Soothing skinks. Okay, glasses off. Can read the chat again. Okay, good. Okay. Little skink toes. Pretty much better. I may fiddle with them again briefly at some point in the future. But not now. Now I am going to call them tidied up. Good. Okay. Yes. So that feels kind of like a stopping point for this. I want to let it get a little bit firmer. What I will do is cover the rest of it and leave it exposed so that it gets a little bit firmer. Good. So, I'm just gonna put some more of the skink clay away here. Oh, let's see. What will we do with this tiny remaining squidge of clay in the next few minutes? What to do, chat? What shall we make with this tiny piece of clay? Maybe a quail? Just in general, quail. A very small quail. Oh yeah, actually, I tell you what, let's divide it into thirds. Because I did that quail family once, remember? So let's divide it into thirds and do some chicks, some quail chicks, because they're small and adorable. And easy and fast. Okay. I find it hilarious when my roommate shows up at the very end of stream. I mean, like, she's right there. She knows what's been happening. Okay. Baby quail are just they're mostly just round. Really. Mostly round. Little quail head. Little quail tail. Nub. Like a tail nubbin, but mostly just a circle. Just a little baby quail shape. Needs more of a little tail. There we go. Just need to make sure the little beak is sharp enough. Sharpening, yes, sharpening their little beaks. Well, the little quail are pretty stylized. If you don't sharpen all of the right points, they don't really work as well. Okay, let's needs little eyes. And little baby quail wings. And little baby quail fluff. And baby quail. Ta-da! Baby quail. Terminator quail, Terminator theme, but instead of the drum beats, it's just someone saying quail over and over again. Oh dear. That was a little bit too much water. It's alright. It'll work itself out. Okay, this quail is looking for bugs on the ground. You know, as you do when you are a baby quail. There we go. And little quail wings. Baby quail wings, not like grown-up quail wings. Floof. Excellent. And last one. Yeah, they've got little sort of penguin flippers. Also, the stylized quail shape is not that far from a penguin. Penguin are also just kind of footballs. This one will be looking up over his little quail shoulder, I think. Yes, up over his little quail shoulder. Which will make him look more like a penguin, frankly, but that's fine. I don't mind. Because penguins are good. Alright, almost a quail. Okay, good. Eyes. And the little quail wings. Look like penguin flippers because it's a baby. I think it's maybe more of a teenager. They feel like they might have grown up just a little bit from sort of the round pink fluff dots. And now they're about to grow in all of their silly pin feathery adult feathers. Yes. Okay. All done. Baby quail. Baby quail. Oh, the baby quail. Oh, don't fall on your little tiny face. That's not good. Stand up. Now I have to fix your little nose. There. Make sure you've got a little flat bottom to sit on. There we go. All right. Made ourselves some baby quail. To close this out. And that's Monday's stream, I think. Fiddling with the handle again. But can you sit for a couple of hours? And then I will come back to it. Until then, remember that Friday is Friday tea time. And I will be doing more pottery this Friday. Because I still don't have a solution for my weird Cintiq problem. So I hope I will see you then. Have a great week. Do the best that you can under the circumstances. Stay safe. Take care, and I will see you on Friday. Bye.